Okay, today is Monday, August the 20th of 2007. We're here at 14 Division on the second floor in the interview room. We are investigating a homicide which occurred on August the 9th of 2007. It's homicide 51. The victim is Ross Hammond. And the time by my watch is 1:20 p.m. I would ask that each of you acknowledge that you understand that this statement is being videotaped and that you consent to such a tape being made. I know I acknowledge and consent.
I do as well.
I do.
Me too.
Thank you. This statement will be taken under solemn affirmation and will be videotaped. You must understand that it is a criminal offense under section 139 and 140 of the Criminal Code to obstruct justice or to commit public mischief by making a false statement to police during an investigation. You must further understand that you may be a witness at a trial concerning the events you describe in this statement. If at that time you recant your statement or claim it to be false, it can and it will be used at that trial, and you may be liable to prosecution under section 137 of the Criminal Code for fabricating evidence. Finally, you must understand that you are not obliged to give this statement. And if any person has by words or acts attempted to persuade you to provide it, you are to disregard those words or acts and only give the statement if you freely choose to do so. Do you understand your right to choose whether or not to make a statement?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand the criminal consequences of making a false statement?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand the fact that this statement will be videotaped and under oath?
Yes.
Do you choose then to give a statement?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. It's Karen Wilson. As the police have explained to you, your statement to them is an important part of their investigation.
Yes.
You should know that it's a serious criminal offense to make a false statement to the police, to wrongly accuse someone of a crime, or to wrongly cause the police to enter into an investigation
Yes.
of another person. You should also understand that it's a serious offense to make a statement that is false.
Yes.
If you later give sworn evidence that is different from what you swear today, that could be another offense. Do you understand
Yes.
this caution?
Yes, I
Do
do.
you, Cynthia Thompson, solemnly affirm that the evidence you shall give on this investigation shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna stamp this, sign it, and then you're gonna, I'm gonna stamp this, sign it. Not a very good stamp, is it? You'll sign it, and then I'll leave. Sign it right here.
Right here?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. That's how I did.
We can just get your name for the record.
It's Karen Wilson,
Okay.
86621.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're
And just for the record, my name is Detective Constable Sabrina Ponzi. Ponzi is Ponzi. My badge number is 9192. I'm here with my partner, Detective Constable Hanser, badge number 7853. And we are interviewing, can you state your full name for the record?
Cynthia Diane Marie Tomlinson, Nee Shepherd.
Can you spell your surname, Tomlinson?
Tomenson.
And how old are you, Cindy?
I'm 33.
Okay. You prefer to be called Cindy, right?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct.
so we'll call you that from here on. And we'll begin with the interview. So we understand that you were in the area of Queen and Niagara Street on August the 9th,
Yes.
or the evening of August 8th, turning into the morning of August the 9th. What can you tell us about what you saw that evening?
First of all, I was in the coffee shop, and it was around 12:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Also, before I continue, I have to say about my memory.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with hypoxia and brain damage, and I got it from a near fatal drowning.
Okay.
So I remember certain parts, but it may not be in the right sequence.
Okay.
So I just want to tell you guys that I do have that problem,
Okay.
but I do remember what I seen.
Okay.
And
Well,
it's-
thank you for qualifying that.
That still, like, the stuff that I seen
Mm-hmm.
has really put a dampen on me. Like, I know what I seen, and I can recall different parts of it,
Okay.
but not in the right order. So if I go off topic to another time space, it's not that I'm trying to hop around.
Okay.
It's just, this is how I remember, you know?
No problem. We'll take our time as
Okay.
we go through it. If you need to take any breaks at any time, just let us know.
Okay.
And as we've said to you, no need to feel nervous about
Mhm.
anything. You know, we'll just go through it slowly. What we'll ask you to do is just give us an overview of what
Okay.
you saw,
Okay.
and like all relevant points that you think to mention, and then we're gonna have questions, and we're
Okay.
gonna go back and see if we can get
Okay.
a little more in depth
Okay.
into it. Okay.
All right. It was around 12:30 in the morning, and I know the time because I met my mother down there. Okay. We were having coffee. All of a sudden, I heard a brawl, like a fight outside. I go outside, and there's a coffee time on one side, and one of a kind past the place.
Mhm.
I saw a big, well, I want to say, she's medium built, I would say. This
Mhm.
girl with black spaghetti straps on her thing, tank top, black skirt. She was walking around with her friends, as I'll call it. She had 4 people with her. Okay, I know there were a couple guys there, and a couple girls, and her. But the reason why I'm focusing on this girl,
Mhm.
because she had something on her wrist, a wrap around, because she was bleeding. She's holding it like this, saying, "My effing arm, my effing arm." The whole time, she was telling these guys to go hoof, excuse the expression, hoof the guy that was on the bottom. Okay, that's who I seen
That was on the what?
on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, there's
Mhm.
one of a kind pasta, and he was on that side,
Is
going
that the
towards
north?
Ossington.
Is that the north side of Queen Street?
I have problems with north south,
Okay.
but I know it's going
The
to
opposite side of the coffee time?
Yes, the opposite in front of pasta place.
Okay.
Okay, going towards Ossington.
Okay.
Okay, and I saw her telling the boys and the people involved to kick this guy. She was the upper hand. All the while she had this pocket knife. Okay, I don't know how long it was, or I seen something shiny, and I seen one of the guys with, as I'm going to describe what I said to the cop, with 2 wooden things and chain in the middle,
Mhm.
going swinging it with his wrist.
Mhm.
Okay, then I saw him on, and I know his name as Ross now. Okay, but I didn't know his name.
Right.
He had brownish color hair.
Mhm.
Okay, he had nice eyes, like pearly white teeth. This is
Mhm.
how I remember him,
Mhm.
because he fell onto the cab.
Mhm.
Okay, and it was a back taxi, so I called the company. It was 901 or 906,
Mhm.
and he fell right onto the cab.
He jumped on it, or he
No,
fell
no, no.
on
He killed over onto it.
it? Okay.
But he was walking after. I don't know if it was after, but when I seen him again, he
Mhm.
was staggering and
Mhm.
walking towards 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Okay?
What was he wearing?
He was wearing brown capri pants,
Mhm.
black shirt, and a hat. That's who I remember seeing. I don't recall much about him because he was bleeding all over. It was really hard to see where he was hurt. Like I knew he had something wrong here, okay, but I don't know if he had stomach pain. I don't know that. All I saw was blood,
So he had a hat. What color was his hat?
black. And this other guy, because the girl that I'm describing with a black dress or whatever, she was telling these guys, to do it. Hit him. He's effing this. And the girl that was ordering the other people and that had the rap thing, she said, "It's my birthday, effing," like this. She was screaming hysteric.
Mhm.
And then I didn't go down to that place. As soon as the police came, and there was like 4 cop cars, and as soon as they came, they started walking that way. And that's when I seen Ross, as I know now, walking down that way.
Mhm.
He was staggering like this, and
Did you see anything in his hand?
no, I did not.
The girl. Tell me a little bit more about the girl that was bleeding. She had on a black
Okay, she
skirt.
had a black skirt. Okay, she had these Doc Martens. They're like men boots,
Mhm.
but they are steel toe.
Mhm.
Okay, because I know what they look like because my brother wanted a pair and my mom wouldn't get them
Mhm.
because they're from the army store on Parliament, I would assume, because that's where my brother went to look.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, she had hair like half ponytail, like here, and her hair was all messy.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a brownish, blondish color hair,
Mm-hmm.
and she had some down, but not full pony, but half and half. It was coming loose, and she had thin straps,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and tank top and a
What
dress.
color was her tank top?
It was black.
Okay. And the skirt was black?
Yes, it was flurly, one of those flurly things.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Was she carrying a bag or anything?
I saw somebody carrying something, but I don't know if it was her.
Mhm.
It was a knapsack.
Okay.
That's all I recall. Same with the guys that were beating Ross. That's who. They had knapsacks and stuff. They looked like they were homeless, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say for sure, but I sometimes give money to squeegee kids, you know, Cherry and Lakeshore, because my husband works at Queens Quay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see them, so, you know.
So the victim, you said, had a black shirt and you said brown capri pants?
Yes.
Now capris are like between, in terms
like-
of the length.
Above his ankle.
Yeah.
That's what I call capris.
Okay. And they were jeans, brown jeans, or just brown pants?
I couldn't tell you if they're jeans or what material, because
Yeah.
I didn't see.
But they were brown?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you saw her and her arm was
Bleeding. Yes.
Did you see her before her arm was bleeding, or when you came out that they, you know?
I seen her with wraparound.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody wrapped it. I don't know who,
Mhm.
because I seen her only when it was bleeding. That's the only time I seen the girl, and she was going up with him. And this other girl, I don't know what she looks like. I know she has brown hair,
Mhm.
and she was helping her wrap that thing. And she goes, "Let's go, cops are here." And then they all, I don't know where they went from there, to be honest.
So which arm was bleeding?
Her right hand.
Her right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know was that the same hand that she had the knife in it? Or was it the other hand?
The other hand, her left hand. I do believe it was her left hand.
Okay.
Because this one, she was too busy going like this, wrapping something,
Yeah.
and she would stop. And the reason why I seen the knife is she goes, "Hold this," to somebody. I don't know who it was. Could have been her friend beside her, because who joined to hit Ross. But I know she didn't touch it with a bloody hand. I know that for a fact. But I know she told somebody to hold it, and she was going like this, freaking out.
Mhm.
And then that's when paramedics asked her what happened, and she was freaking out with them. That's all I seen of her.
So what things was she saying?
Beat the guy. She was dictating to the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Beat him. He deserves it. Get him. And that's all I heard.
And were the guys that she was with responding and
Yes, they
beating
were.
him?
Yes, they were. They were actually giving him, as I'll call, blows to the head. Like kicking him in the head, kicking him in the gut, kicking him here, there. That, whatever she said, they did. I thought she was superior or something.
Okay, now is this on the side of Queen Street where the coffee time is, or on the other
On
side?
the opposite side.
Okay. Was there a streetcar there at this time, or was that you didn't see a streetcar?
I can't say I seen a streetcar.
Okay.
The only thing I will say is a cab was there.
Yeah.
It was back taxi, because I called back taxi twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there was blood. When Ross fell, it was like an accordion. He fell like dart on. You could see the driver, and there was blood on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the company and say, "Can you send your cabbie back? You know, he has blood." And they said, "Thank you, we'll get a hold of him." And they said they paged him.
Was Ross saying anything to the cabbie?
No,
Was he saying anything at all?
not that I recall.
Okay.
I only seen him fall.
So when you talk about him on the ground being kicked and
Yes.
punched and whatnot, was this just before he jumped onto the cab?
Yes, he got beaten first. He got up to try to move, like to walk, to get to the other side, which was my side. And he started walking down. And I guess he lost balance or something. I don't know, but he went right onto the cab.
Mm-hmm.
Because he didn't look well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had brown hair. I know he had brown hair, and his hair was short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not a crew cut, but thin.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, trying to think of the word. It's not bald, but it had thin hair. He had, like, he had a part type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was feathered to the side, and I remember his teeth distinctively because they were white.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and his eyes, you could just look at, like, they were, how do I say it? There's something you never forget. You know, his eyes were, he looked well groomed. That's what I observed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he looked really neatly dressed. You know, he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see.
So how was he able to pick himself up from being kicked and all of that?
He managed to get up. I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I know he got up once to go by 7-Eleven, like I told you. From there, I don't know any.
Now you said you heard that.
Well, I hear that because when I seen him, sorry, wrong word. When I seen him, he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not okay. He had bleeding or whatever. I thought he was gonna go to the hospital because your cops came.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I seen. Shouldn't say I hear, sorry. But that's how I remember him. He was dressed nice. He was with some other guy, but I didn't see that guy, so I can't describe him.
So how do you know he was with another guy?
Why? Because this guy was helping him up. The guy that was beside him. Like, come on. And that's all I remember. I don't remember.
Do you remember what clothing that person was wearing?
No, I can't say for the, no.
Do you remember at all anything about what they look like? Even the age or the weight or height or color of hair?
I don't want to guess. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't.
And we don't want you to guess.
I really don't remember that.
So in terms of weapons that you saw,
Yes.
is the only, like, you saw a weapon on the girl with the spaghetti straps and the
Yeah.
skirt.
It was like a pocket knife, I'll call it.
What color was it?
It was all. I only seen the blade, the
Okay.
knife part.
What color was that blade?
It was silver.
And could you say how long the blade was?
I would say about the length of my hand.
The length of your hand? So,
I don't know.
maybe
She had bigger hands than me.
3 inches?
I don't know.
Okay. So from your toe to your, from your fingertip to your wrist
Yeah, I would say.
is about the length of the blade. And you said it was silver?
Yes.
Do you know how thick the blade was?
Honestly, no, because the lights were glaring.
Do you know what the shape of the blade was like?
It was like a butter knife.
So the
With
end
a
of it was
point.
round or it had a point?
It had a point.
It had a point.
Yes.
And the handle, you don't know what color that
No,
was?
I did not see the handle.
And you're thinking it was a folding knife?
Yes,
What makes you think that?
because she went in her pocket.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you see anything else about the blade that was distinguishing or?
No, I did not.
Okay. And did you see her use that knife at any time?
No, I didn't.
She was just holding it?
Yes.
Now you mentioned that she asked somebody to hold it for her?
Yeah, that was her friend that was helping her with the.
So this
blood
is after she's cut and bleeding and bandaged?
Yeah.
Temporary.
Well, it
Whatever
was
that
like
fabric.
a white
yeah.
thing wrapped around, and her blood was seeping through.
Okay. So you saw some of her friends were also assaulting Ross?
Yes.
And were those all the other 4 people that were called there to help her? Were they all getting involved, or it was just 1 or 2 that you remember?
There was a girl that was beating him, but I don't remember what she looks like. But she had brownish color hair.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the girl helping her.
Brown hair. Did she have long hair?
It was tied up too. Not tied up, but it was. I would say it was messy. Okay.
Her clothing, do you remember anything?
I recall something blue, but I can't say for sure. I should say that. But the guys, there were two guys mostly she was ordering around.
Okay.
I don't know what they look like, but like I said to you before, it was reddish colored hair, like a scruffiness, and that's all I recall from him. I don't know exactly.
For one of the other guys or something?
Yes.
What was the lighting like?
At that scene,
Yeah.
sometimes it's light, it's on where one of a kind pasta sometimes goes off,
Yeah.
and the store windows are open
Yeah.
with light. That's all we had.
Did you have street lights?
Yes.
Okay. So could you see like the images of the people could you see their faces pretty clearly?
If I was to see them again, yeah, I could identify if I seen them, but I can't visually. No.
And how far would you be able to say what the distance was that you were away from them when you were watching all this?
I was across the street, coffee time.
So I guess, is it fair to say however many lanes in the
I would say
street?
there's a streetcar track was
Yeah.
one. Then the side where the passengers get off.
Right?
Hold on. There's a street, normal street, streetcar tracks too, and then on the other side was that. And they were close to here, like very close to the tracks.
And you were like directly across,
I was
right?
directly right across. Actually, if you look at the past place, you dart on right there,
Mhm.
and then there's a bus shuttle,
Mhm.
and then there's a variety store. That's where I was.
Were you with anybody when this happened, Cindy?
Yes, I was.
Who were you with?
My Uncle Garnet,
Mhm.
and I met my mom there, because that's originally why I went down there, to see my mother, and
Mhm.
that's the last time.
I know I've asked you this already, but just to be certain, by the time you come out of the coffee time
Yes.
and see this girl that you've described, she's already got this cut to her arm.
Yes, she does.
So you have no knowledge of how that happened.
Nope.
Okay.
But before I seen all this, I
Yes.
have to make it clear. They were walking down from Bathurst and Dundas area. That's how I first seen it. They were walking down. These people.
Is this before you went into the coffee time?
Yes.
Okay. Before you met your mom, I
Yes.
guess?
Beforehand. Because they were chit-chatting. I don't know what they were
Was
talking.
she yelling or like?
She was high and strung. I thought she was drunk, to be honest.
Okay.
She-
Sorry, so when you first saw them, they were going east?
They were going from Bathurst and Dundas right down to Niagara and Queen.
Okay.
I seen them previous.
Mhm.
They were talking.
So, but at that time though, she wasn't dealing with Ross or anything like that?
No.
There had been no...
No altercations or nothing.
Okay. And they appeared to be drinking or?
She had this, well, I call it a Mickey, in a brown bag. But she didn't have it on her. She
Mhm.
passed it on to one of the guys.
Okay.
That's how I seen them coming,
Mhm.
like walking down. And
Mhm.
I was out smoking, and I
Okay.
seen them walking down.
Okay.
and
Did
then
she
I
say
was-
anything to you at that time?
She didn't even see me.
Okay.
I was like, there's coffee time, there's a variety store, okay? And there's a space between both where I always huddle to have a smoke,
Mhm.
and then that's when I seen them.
And what was her demeanor like at that time?
She looked angry.
Really?
She looked, I hate to use the word motive, but she had something going on in her head. She was talking something to this other girl who I can't describe to you.
Mhm.
She had brown hair.
Mhm.
That I do recall. She had brown hair. But they were talking back and forth, and then she goes, when she got to Queen and Niagara, everything broke loose. I don't know if it stemmed off from up there, but she was getting angry. It's like, how do I explain? She didn't look happy.
Can you describe the clothing of anybody else that she was with?
I believe one guy had a hat.
a baseball cap?
Yeah, I'm trying to recall, but it happened all so quick.
Okay.
There was no time for, you guys got there,
Mm-hmm.
and the brawl was going on for like 10 minutes before the police came.
A lot of people standing outside watching?
Yeah.
Yeah? How many people would you guess?
If I was to guess,
Mm-hmm.
40.
That many
I'm just guessing.
saw bystanders?
Yeah, I would say because they were all in the bus shelter part,
Yeah?
and a couple on the other side, coming from the park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the park's name. I tried to remember, but
Yeah.
they came up, and people from the opposite way came. But then I went inside because they took off, or
Yeah.
police took the girl who was bleeding or something. They took her to the hospital or something. Same with I didn't see Ross, and only seen him walking by. Like I told you, going down that way. That's the last time I seen him.
So, and was where I was gonna go next. So the last time that you saw him, he was walking,
Staggering
staggering.
towards 7-Eleven way.
So when he saw the cab and he fell on the hood of the cab, and
Yes.
then he was over by the side window of the cab.
Yes.
What was the cab driver doing?
Nothing, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was beeping his horn, telling them to get up, to get off the vehicle,
Right.
and he was rude. He just drove off. That's why I also called the company, like I said previous, and reported it because he has blood on his thing.
And what did that cab driver look like?
He was an East Indian man,
Mm-hmm.
and he had facial hair,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of facial, like a base scruff.
Okay.
But that's the only thing I've seen of him.
Clothing, do you remember?
I can't say that.
His age?
I would say early 40s.
Okay.
I don't.
Did you see another cab at any time?
There was no other cab, like I told you previously. The only one that I seen was Beck Taxi.
Okay. And what did you do after that? After everything seemed to disperse?
I went into the coffee time
You went back inside to the coffee time?
to talk to my mom.
Mhm.
I said, Mom, holy crap, man, I just seen something. She's like, Cindy, just wait. Somebody will come talk to you. And I went, no, this is not right, Mom. This guy got hurt. She goes, are you meddling in others' business?
Mhm.
Parents do that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, no, but this guy got hurt. And they thought I was like losing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they only believed me when they seen the taping.
Mm-hmm.
Because I usually take the Queen card to Queen to Dufferin,
Mm-hmm.
but it was all sealed off.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that's where he walked, Mom. She's like, how do you know? And I said, Mom, before I came in, he got up and he was staggering. And she goes, was he drunk? I said, Mom, he has injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when Ben from the coffee time called 911. But they said they already got the calls from other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Ben told me.
Is there anything that I've asked you that, is there anything I haven't asked you that you think would be relevant? Or that we should talk about?
Not that I recall.
No? My partner may have questions?
Yeah, I've just been keeping some notes as we went along. You just mentioned that you told your mom that he has injuries.
Yeah.
What injuries?
Well, I was going on assumption
Mm,
because how he was walking and his head.
okay.
Because how he fell on the cab near me. I was going on my own assumption that he may have had an injury. And that's what because she had one.
Yeah.
So I was just assuming that he had one.
When he was walking and he was staggering, was he doubled over at all? Was he standing straight up?
Okay, on the cab, he was like this, like directly nose, like this, straightwards. Okay, his body, here he is, and here's the cab, he went like this.
So he's facing the driver?
Yes, straight on.
Okay.
And
Stomach on the hood?
yes.
Okay.
And he got up, well, what he could get out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he fell backwards, I don't know, but I would assume so, because he looked really weak, and he crossed the street where I was. Not at the lights, he didn't cross at the lights,
Mm-hmm.
but he right across the street, and then walked towards 7-Eleven. That's why I assumed he was hurt.
Yeah.
because nobody goes into a cabin and goes, shh.
Yeah.
That's why I shouldn't have said it, but I assumed.
No, that's fine.
He was
That's
hurt.
what, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, when he's with the cabbie,
Yes.
did you hear anything from him, from the victim?
No, I did not.
So just the cabbie saying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move, and beeping his horn.
Okay.
That's the only thing I recall.
And was there any physical contact between the two of them?
No, I can't really say
No.
that. I don't recall that.
Okay. Okay, and then just going back earlier, actually, while I'm thinking of it. How far away were you when you seen the knife?
I was, okay, here's coffee time,
Mhm.
and then there's a crosswalk,
Okay.
okay? Here's the coffee time, here's this other store, there's little stores. There's a bunch of stores here.
Mhm.
There's a crosswalk, halfway in the middle
Okay.
of the tracks.
So would it be the size of this room, or twice as big as this room?
I would say as far as me and that wall.
So as far as where you're sitting now to
Yes.
this wall, so
Yes.
that's about 4 feet, 5 feet.
Because I only seen it because of the shininess.
Okay.
And
She held it in her hand.
she told this other girl who was beside her to hold it. And that's when I seen it. I didn't see her use it or
Mhm.
whatever, but she told this other girl, who I only remember with brown hair,
Mm-hmm.
to hold it because she was freaking out about her. Quote unquote, she says, my effing arm, my effing arm.
Mm.
It's my birthday and I'm gonna get it. That's all I see.
Just to interject for a second, you went like this when you were talking about seeing the knife.
Yes.
Is that because she was doing this motion?